Hi, Will. Nice. I'm really pleased to have you here in Egypt, and I'm pleased that we are having this series of interviews where we will talk with, where I will really ask you and get your feedback and your opinion about how you see and how you deliver, how you teach Fitra leadership. I would like to ask you first why you chose Fitra leadership as the topic of your life. Can you tell us how it happened to you?
Yeah.
Why you did have this as a career and a way of living?
Yeah. So the work I've been doing prior to coming to the Middle East was transformational with people. And people in life become just the way they end up. And how they become that way, people say, the way I grew up or the culture I'm in or what happened to me, has made me who I am. But that's not what's made you who you are. What's made you who you are is when things have happened, you've had thoughts and you've made decisions. And those decisions, because you decided they were true, become beliefs, become limiting beliefs. They limit you. Oh, I'm like this, or I'm not like that. And so you become a smaller version of yourself. So programs I've been leading for 27 years are to get yourself back to your true self, your true authentic self.
Okay.
And then with that, then creating who you are as a leader, what you're up to in the world, what your vision is. So I've been doing all of that. And then about, I think, 3 years ago, you said, we need the leadership program in the Middle East.
Exactly.
And you introduced me to this word Fitra. I said, Fitra, what's that? He said, well, it doesn't really translate directly from Arabic to English. So, and then we had this whole discussion about Fitra. And I'm like, that's the word I've been looking for all this time. I work with people to have them give up their inauthentic ways of being and acting. Ways of being and acting and reacting to life that aren't really true to who they are. They're just who they've become.
Mm-hmm.
So who you've become in life is this you that you identify with as you. I'm shy, or I'm an introvert, or I'm an extrovert, or some identity you have of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
In social situations, I'm like this. In those kind of situations, I'm a bit like that. I'm good at this. I know I'm really good at this. I'm not good at that, so I don't do that. So you've got all this narrative about who you are. And it's all, even if it's like, I'm successful and you are successful, it's still, you're constrained to those ways of being and acting that have produced success in the domain you're producing success. Maybe in the domain of relationships, you're not that successful.
Mm-hmm.
So it works where it works, but it is a limit because you're now confined to those ways of being and acting as what you have available.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you get everything for what it is, your reactions to, your responses to people's criticism, or your thoughts about what people are thinking, once you can identify all this automatic, you can return to who you truly are, which is none of those things. And then when you introduce me to the word fitra, and it's your true self, your true state, and also, that analogy with the little seed, you can put it in soil, it knows to grow into a perfect plant. That's fitra.
Mm-hmm.
And you can put the same seed in a different soil, in a different environment, in a different part of the world. It will grow up perfectly, and it will grow up in perfect harmony with that environment, which is also fitra. See, so you're being your true self. You don't need someone to tell you, and you are in perfect harmony with your environment when you're in fitra. All of that is authentic, true leadership. So they come together. So it just is what it is. It is fitra. I just didn't have the word for over like 22 years. Or
So it was a perfect match for what you actually teach and live with.
Yes, thanks to you, because
You're welcome.
we were working together to create a leadership program, and then we had to come up with a name for the organization.
Yeah.
And we had 3 names, and one of which you created was Fitra Leadership Institute. This is in Dubai. and they picked that.
Yeah.
And I liked my name.
Yeah.
I had efficacious leadership.
Yeah.
It's leadership without the effort, and it's really effective.
Yeah.
So efficacious is a great English word, but actually it's not as good as fitra, because it's the whole person. It's not just that you're producing results kind of leadership. It's the wholeness of it.
Exactly. It's the wholeness of it. Thank you. Leadership, it's not like a position. It's not like a job.
A job title.
It's not leadership is not a job title. Leadership is a way of being. Can you tell us more about this? How leadership is a way of being? How leadership is natural? How leadership is fitra?
Yeah. Well, if you see something that's not in accord with you and the situation, it would be natural to say something, right? But because you're not in fitra and you're not empowered to be in fitra, you don't say anything, perhaps. And you let it slide, or you let it be okay, or you make it okay. But that's not fitra, none of that. So what is leadership? Leadership is seeing the situation and dealing with the situation and saying what needs to get said to have the situation dealt with. So it's more than that, but that's it. That's like in the moment what's required.
So being interactive with life situations and life accidents of life changes, being interactive with life, this is fitra.
Well,
this is leadership.
But yeah, exactly. It's interesting. You interject. You use fitra when really we're talking about leadership, because they are like that. It is that way. So if you are trying to lead like you think you're supposed to lead, that's not fitra. That's not you. That's some vision or some interpretation or some idea of how, or notion of how you're supposed to be. When you're in fitra, you don't have to think. There's no thinking required. You're just dealing with what's in front of you.
So just being there, interacting with life, this is fitra and this is leadership.
Well, it's not just, it's interacting with life to impact life, to have things happen that need to happen. There's like, if people need to eat, okay, then it's leadership to go and get food or organize somebody to go and get food. So you're providing leadership right there in your household. There's no particular title called you're the leader. You're just getting done what needs to get done. Now, you might get a title leader. I mean, I used to be in the Air Force. I was an officer in the Air Force. So you tell people to do something, they do it just because you had the title. You had you were an officer.
Yeah.
Which, when I came out of the Air Force, I was a pilot in the Air Force.
Yeah.
And then I was a pilot in the aviation industry. And I was walking around the airplane one time and I needed the power supply, ground power supply plugging into the airplane. So I said to the ground technician that was there, I said, can you plug the electricity in, please? The power supply. He walked off.
Wow.
He looked at me and just walked away.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? And then he complained to the company that I've been so rude and arrogant and direct with him. I'm like, what? And then, and then I had to get retrained. I said, you can't talk to people like that. They're not in the military. You can't give them orders. You've got to say hello and get to know them. But again, so there's all these, that's an adaptive way to get people to do things also. That's not, neither of those are fitra.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you're in fitra, it's just, there's a person, hi, and there's, we're going to be doing this. So we're going to need that plugging in. Are you the person that does that? Yeah. Oh, great. That'd be awesome. I mean, it's just obvious.
Yeah. It's just natural.
It's natural. It's in fitra.
It's fitra.
So giving somebody the title, or maybe you have the title. You're the manager. Yeah. Or you're the boss. You own the company. Of course, you're the leader. Yeah. Except, are you really providing leadership?
That's the question.
When you say, I want X to happen, is X happening? Yeah. Is everybody behind the X happening? Or do you find yourself having to force things or cajole people or, I don't know, whatever it is? Because if you're doing that, you lack power. Power is not force. Power is say X and X happens.
Yes.